But the difference between myself and the leader of the opposition is you don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say.
So we're going to put in a generator for you.
God bless you.
We have our team. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce will loan you the generator because clearly you're far away. Until power comes back, you use it. And then we take it and give it to somebody else.
In Jamaica, last year this time, JAMP made a mistake. And the mistake is that we were naive in not understanding. I think I would say.
Yeah, my side. Andrew Holness got a compound Sunday. Yeah, man. Go see Mr. Richard Curry, you know, the Maroon chief. Everything look well. I think him leave couple little things there, one generator, couple bucket of water in a paint pan, and say the government have mandated the JDF for help build back the Maroon town. That's Sunday, you know. So now fast forward Thursday, Richard Curry come out and say, yo, you might reject the call or the notion of the Prime Minister mobilizing the JDF to come help build back them town. Richard Curry get smart, man. Him know what go on, man. Him know say all of the resources down there them a come for scrape. You make a bold move, me youth. To tell you, me I wonder where you do a team Holness, you know. Me I look upon it and I say, where you do a team Holness. But I love how you make the decision based off a consultation with the people that accompany.
Citizens of Jamaica, I want to come out this time. I'm going to keep one vex and no one can beat me. What country I get sell off little by little and some I want to feel like say I just everything on the need for defend. I'm not say you can't vote for who you want, vote for whoever you want, but as a citizen that's voting, you have a duty to criticize the government when they are messing up. The Jamaican Labour Party, I start move like MAGA up here because blind loyalty to a politician is not patriotism. It's fucking dangerous. Since Hurricane Melissa, Mr. Holness himself admitted that flying around on the airplanes cost $1 million per day, and he flew around on said airplanes to assess the damages to the areas, right? But somehow, most of the communities that you flew over have still not yet received aid. Edmund Bartley, you have one constituency in a St. James that has not yet seen you. There's an autistic child over there right now that has been homeless since the hurricane. 400 generators were donated, and we were told that some of them were going to be lent out to shop owners within certain communities so they could be a central area for the government to be able to check in on the progress and allow people to come charge their devices, whatever, get the place up and running. Couple weeks later, the story changed. Now the donated generators are only for government institutions, hospital, police stations, schools, churches, etc. Alright, cool. You admitted in Parliament the other day that you don't know how much money has been donated and you guys have not yet spent any of the money that's been donated. But now, all of a sudden, you want to use taxpayer money, which you said out of your own mouth, to buy generators to lend out. Meanwhile, there's money that's been donated that has not been spent. You guys are telling me that's not fucking chaos? Now let's talk about the G20 summit. Mr. Andrew Holness go on the world stage, go tell everybody how we're desperate and we needy and we're poor and we're broke. And then the same Prime Minister came on TV to tell us not to video when we're donating because we need to preserve our dignity. What dignity when you just tell the whole world so we're mash up and we need help? That doesn't seem like an attempt to preserve dignity. That seems like an attempt to control the narrative. And now the bigger picture. Chinese companies own all our roads. Most of the beachfront properties are bought up by American investors and they're still being sold. Mining sectors, foreign interests. Tech systems, foreign platforms. And now our elections too. What do we actually fucking own? This was signed back in 2022, but it's going into effect this year, or next year for the next election because, voter registration and IDs and all that stuff are going to be gathered within the next couple of years for the next election. and Israel is in control of that. A foreign company now owns the system that is going to decide who is eligible to vote in Jamaica. What the Israeli government is doing to Palestine right now is absolute fucking destruction, and it's going to set the precedent for what they do elsewhere. We don't own our tech, we don't own our infrastructure, our voting system has been bought out. What do we own? What is ours? There's no sovereignty anymore. Stop worshipping party and start defending Jamaica. You guys need to open your fucking eyes and ask questions. Blind loyalty, a fuckery.
What if you hold dual citizenship and the US government told you had to make a decision? Choose between America or Jamaica. Not tomorrow, not next year, but today. Well, a US senator has just introduced a bill called the Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025. A bill that will force every dual citizen to pick just one nationality. And for Jamaicans in the diaspora, this is no small matter because many of us hold dual citizenship because it keeps us connected to our homes, our families, our land, our birthright. But under this proposal, you would have 1 year to renounce your Jamaican citizenship or risk losing your American one. Think about that. No more rights to vote in Jamaica. No more active ties to the island that shape your very identity. This isn't just paperwork. This is culture, legacy, and belonging. So hear me clearly. If this bill moves forward, Jamaicans in the diaspora must move forward together because we are not a small community. We are a global power. We build economies. We influence elections. We shift conversations. And when we stand united, when we raise one voice across every state, every city, every parish, every island, nobody, and I mean nobody, can force Jamaica out of us. So stand firm, stand proud, and stand together because we are Jamaicans.
Have come to me complaining that the PNP MPs who have gotten substantial relief aid have not been distributing it to them. And I want to put it on record, Madam Speaker, that when they have come to me, I have said to them, in the interest of unity and peace in this country, that we wouldn't raise it or complain about it. But there is obviously, Madam Speaker, an effort to destroy the goodwill and to falsely accuse the government in a very malicious way. And we have, Madam Speaker, made every attempt to be fair in how we have distributed the public's resources, not our resources, the public resources. And to answer the member, I have given a directive to the Minister of Labour, to the Minister of Local Government, and to ADPEM that they must release all public aid that has been given to every member of Parliament in this country. So that the unfair and malicious attempt to cast the government in an unfair light can be dispelled by facts. So, Madam Speaker, that will be made available as soon as the next sitting. And we have also said, I must say, Madam Speaker, I received yesterday a very good report from ADPEM that they now have in place a proper system to manage inventory. So very soon, we should be able to have a public access website where we can see everything that comes in and everything that is given. We will put an end to this deliberate, malicious attempt to destroy the reputation of the government.
Brother Andrew Holness say, "Oh no need to show the people them say, people are helping them because it make me look bad. Oh no need to show the world say Jamaica people poor because it make me look bad. Me bumbleclad. This man said, oh no need to take no care package from nobody. And if you do take the care package, make sure you no record it. or uno either starve to death, can me not come help uno. But no post it. No post it can make me look bad. Me bumbo clot.
This video is not an attack on anyone, and it is not an attack on any organization either. It is me being a Jamaican and being concerned about the decisions that are being made that will affect my future as a Jamaican and every other Jamaican that plans to live here for the rest of their lives. For the longest while, I guess a Jamaican and the money, and that is very, very easy to believe when you look at the condition of the country. Our hospitals are in shambles. Kind of original that long for the longest while. I had a relative who was there. They didn't have any bed. He was in a wheelchair and he put it upon a crate. I have friends who, for them people, them dead because of the condition that they were in. The road them on the road, pathway would have killed you. Teachers, nurses, police officers, overworked, underpaid. So if you come and tell me, say Jamaican have no money, I would believe you because I'm seeing what is going on. So I need somebody to explain to me where we got 150 million US dollars from to lend JPS, which is already $1 billion company. And I know it is not insurance money because there's no way you go take the $150 million we get to fix the country and just put it in our private sector, put it in one place. So we not think of that. So I want to know where it came from. 2, why is it that 3 business years after, announcing that you'll lend JPS the money, the health minister is asking Jamaicans overseas to assist with ambulance and stuff like that? Why would you take the money, give to people who already have money, and then ask people who barely have it to help you? A 5 me get in a match, but the match is not a match at all. And then we're thinking to borrow $500 million from IMF to put us further back in debt. I don't think people understand where this is going to put us as a country. And it comes like to everybody who questions the Prime Minister and automatically thinks, we hate the man or something. Somehow we genuinely care about the country and we care about people. And these are not the actions of a government that cares about the people. And I hope to God one day we'll wake up and realize what is going on, because it cannot be that some of us are seeing it clear as day and someone who just lack. This no make no sense.
Only 12 million US out of 6 point, how much? $7 billion is grant funding. Only 12 million US out of over 6 billion of programmed US funding is grant funding. That is the world that we as Jamaicans, both you on that side and us on this side, have to navigate. It's really a shame that the international financial community is still approaching the mitigation of the effects of climate-induced disasters on countries like ours by financing packages that are largely based on additional debt. These debts that we are now going to be incurring to finance our attempts at recovery are like lending money to a business that suffered losses through some kind of crisis that is trying to dig itself out of a hole from. Taking on additional debt to do that is going to be a challenging road for any country. Therefore, I don't think it's appropriate to treat these announcements in a triumphant way. We are going to be incurring the costs of paying back this massive additional borrowing in years to come. We are in a country which has spent the last 15 years seeking to get ourselves out of a debt trap, where we've had to run massive primary surpluses every year consistently to reduce our debt to GDP ratio, with a target that's written into our law incidentally by a government from this side, which we were anticipating would have been met this year before Melissa struck us. And now we are facing a new era of massive incremental borrowing. If you look at 3.6 billion US of sovereign debt, that's over 25% of GDP of additional borrowing. That does, and the 662 billion already available, only less than half of that is in a form that's not debt. Most of that is debt as well. This $2.4 billion of private capital, we look forward to seeing whether that will be forthcoming and in what volumes, because you can't project that you're going to receive private investment as part of your recovery. I'm glad that the multilaterals are going to support the effort, but at the end of the day, investors have to be willing and there have to be projects available to them that are bankable and investable. So we will see whether or not that happens.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, on behalf of indigenous people of Akompong and the wider Maroon districts of Cockpit Country, I send sincere appreciation for your recent visit to our community and for the government of Jamaica's expression of support following the destruction caused by Hurricane Melissa. Your presence, accompanied by the several ministers of government, marked the first official visit of your administration to Akompong since my election in 2021, and it was warmly welcomed by our people. We remain grateful for the humanitarian gesture extended to the Akompong people and for your willingness to mobilize resources, particularly those of the JDF military, to assist with the recovery efforts. We also acknowledge your reference on international partners including Ethiopia, Ghana, and Rwanda, who have expressed readiness to assist in the island's rebuilding efforts. Honorable Prime Minister, following a deep, comprehensive internal review and a formal deliberation, the full Maroon Council has this time decided not to accept the offer on the militarization of the space during the recovery effort. The full Maroon Council instead has resolved to continue with the response, utilizing civilian resources from our adjoining communities and our partners, both locally and internationally, who have offered to the community their assistance in the recovery efforts. Instead, the Council would like to thank you for the offer on materials and would accept the offer on those materials and equipment necessary to assist in those recovery efforts. We want to ensure, Mr. Prime Minister, that harmony and inclusiveness of our Maroon human resources, of those here in Akompong and adjoining communities, are balanced to execute the infrastructural relief efforts across our Maroon communities. This methodology aligns with our laws and cultural way of life. This decision is based also on the following considerations. 1. The established reconstruction partnerships and resources Akompong has secured through international donations, through technical sponsorships, and volunteer engineering assistance sufficient to address the rebuilding and development needs arising from the hurricane. These partnerships, coordinated through the Akompong Development Foundation, reflect years of relationship building, and they provide to us a structured, culturally and aligned framework for reconstruction across the Maroon territory. The second consideration was the protection of community well-being and trauma sensitivities. As you would have recognized, our community was significantly devastated, and many of our elders, some of the women as well as children, have endured profound emotional trauma. In the aftermath, the introduction of military personnel carrying assault rifles, as we would have seen just the other day, even in a humanitarian capacity, could exacerbate and distress and cause additional distress among residents of the community. The Council believes that reconstruction conducted through civilian and community-based teams is the most appropriate path for maintaining emotional security and cultural stability at this time. This, I'm sure, you can understand, Mr. Prime Minister. Our treaty obligations and governance. The third consideration would be the treaty obligations and governance responsibilities a compound as a treaty recognized indigenous polity under the 1738 treaty bears the responsibility of in ensuring that the recovery operation within the territorial space are consistent with its laws, governance institutions, and cultural protocols. The Council has therefore determined that internal and partner-supported reconstruction efforts remain the most suitable avenue for the recovery from the damages that were sustained. This decision is not a rejection of cooperation, nor does it diminish the appreciation of the humanitarian intent behind your offer. We again thank you. But rather, it reflects a compound's capacity to manage its internal recovery efforts through established civilian channels and international collaborative efforts that have been ongoing since the impact of this storm. I again reiterate our commitment to engage in dialogue on areas where meaningful cooperation between the government of Jamaica and the accompanying Maroons can be maintained. We thank everyone for their continued support, particularly in matters related to the disaster readiness and recovery from the effects of Hurricane Melissa. The Maroons continue to show their resilience and share their support with the broader communities impacted by the storm. We respectfully emphasize that this disaster relief cannot be interpreted as altering or diminishing a compound's treaty-recognized autonomy. The historical and legal foundations of the 1738 treaty remain intact and continue to guide our interactions with the Jamaica State Government. Honorable Prime Minister, we again express our sincere gratitude for your visit and your expression of solidarity during this difficult time. We remain committed to peaceful engagement, transparent dialogue, and long-term well-being of all communities within the cockpit country. May this period of national recovery represent an opportunity for renewed mutual respect and for collaborative efforts that honor both Jamaica's constitutional framework and Accompong's treaty-based autonomy. Thank you.
The opposition has been doing whole heap of bawling about how it's being left out of the relief efforts, so why turn down an invitation like this? Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Well, yeah, doesn't make sense. Even if this joint select committee is chaired by a government member, opposition members would still be sitting on the committee. They'd be right there. They can ask questions. They can probe. They can make recommendations. They can participate fully. They would have shown a good faith effort to work with the government, right? They'd have the good optics of having accepted an invitation from the Prime Minister. And yes, optics are important, right? It's politics, it's governance. Optics are important. Right now, what it looked like is like the Prime Minister extended a hand and the PNP box it way. It looks like the Prime Minister held out an olive branch and the PNP lick it out of his hand. It looks like the Prime Minister sent out the dove of peace to the PNP and then take slingshot, kill it. Refusing to sit on the committee was politically stupid. You know what this looks like? PM invites opposition to sit on a committee, opposition refuses. Well, actually, it doesn't look like that. It was like that. And believe me, when I say that it's as far as most people will go, then I'll just sit down and listen to one bag of explanation about duplication of function, duplication of resources, not enough space in parliamentary building for the different committees to meet. They're not going to look at any of that. Them just going here. Prime Minister extended an invitation, opposition said no. All of that, what they've done is to handcraft their very own personalized, custom-made belt for the government to beat them with. PNP carry the belt go to Andrew and Desmond for them beat them with it. It's just straight up not politically savvy. I think even at this stage, PNP should backtrack and say, hold on, you know something? You want us to sit on this joint select committee? Sure, let's set it up. They can still change their mind. They still should change their mind.
Yes, so this is the Deon Jackson Miller that I've been missing because, as I said, before the election, I believe that Dion Jackson Miller was very objective with her coverage of the election, and for the most part you could say that she was a fair person in the space. But after the election, for whatever reason, most of what she covered is pretty much almost like from the People's National Party playbook. But this is the Dion Jackson Miller that I've been waiting for weeks, to be objective and to call out the opposition as much as she's been calling out the government of Jamaica, because this is very important. I know Dion Jackson Miller, she's in a very unique position because she's a professional journalist and she's also in the content creator space. So it is good to see her coming out now.
Facts on the table. Maroons are not indigenous. Secondly, Maroons and the Maroon community is not a sovereign state, and therefore the governance structure of Jamaica, the military and the Jamaica Constabulary Force have access to these communities under law. Thirdly, Dr. Andrew Holness, clearly these people don't want to help. Take those meaningful and well-needed resources and distribute them in Westmoreland, Hanover, parts of St. Elizabeth, parts of Trelawney, and parts of Manchester. Those persons will very much appreciate those resources. Let these people fend for themselves. Let them fend for themselves. And even after rebuilding their communities, the Jamaican government still has full authority over Jamaica, including Maroon Town. Those are facts that are on the table. Debate and cussing on the comments all on one.
In Jamaica, last year this time, Jamp made a mistake. And the mistake is that we were naive in not understanding. I think I would say the environment at the time. I genuinely didn't understand that this would have become what I think was a political football, where persons did abuse another word which is missing, and missing unaccounted for don't mean missing. It means that when somebody submits a financial report, you might come to the conclusion after you get the report, if you're not satisfied, you might say, and you might not say, that money is missing. Oh man, so the very day we met with the media and we explained the concern for the $3 trillion worth of reports that had not been given to the Auditor General, I had said it does not mean missing. I want to put on the record that the very front page report the very next day, December the 4th, the reporter actually said, and Jeanette Calder indicated that she's not saying, Jamp is not saying, it is missing. The very cabinet, post-cabinet press briefing that raised it, the Minister of Finance indicated that Jeanette Calder of Jamp had indicated from day one that it does not mean that it is not missing.
For those who are speculating about what funds we have received thus far, we've been utilizing most of our own funding, as well as what we've received for insurance proceeds. I can say that I can report that all in-kind supplies that were consigned to ODPEM will be accounted for at our seaport and airports. All of the in-kind that passes there for individuals, companies, charities that come through customs will be accounted for. Already I have a report from customs that shows me the value, how many persons or how many, what was the input through the customs system. Individuals who bring suitcases or of supplies for families and friends via their checked or unchecked baggage on flights, obviously, that's not going to be accounted for by the government. Cash and kind sent to the opposition, families and friends, obviously, is not going to be accounted for by the government. So if anybody wants to know how much the opposition has received, it is a question that should be put to the leader of the opposition and the shadow spokesperson on finance.
Jamaica Gleaner, If you're not in the business of writing hit pieces and defamatory articles against private citizens and parliamentarians, why are you so against criminal libel charge being on the books? Why is it that a media company should be able to write defamatory articles or publish media on parliamentarians and private citizens and get away with it scotch-free? Journalism should be about the truth. And if you write about the truth, you cannot be sued or put in jail for defamatory or criminal libel charges. Correct? I would like to know though, Jamaica Guinea, have your entity or any journalist associated with your organization in the past ever been sued for defamation and you lost the case? We're just asking questions. I don't know.
Those of you who follow politics and watch sitting of the parliament and so on will know for a fact how much the Speaker of the House likes to use standing orders, especially when this suits her, when it's convenient to her and her party. Now, yesterday, while watching Parliament, the Speaker, violated one standing order, and she was called out for it. Now, let's take a look and a listen to what happened.
We didn't visit your Prime Minister's speech with the kind of response that you're giving mine.
Madam Speaker, as the time for the opposition leader has expired, to speak has expired, we ask that you give him sufficient time to complete his presentation.
House, the question is that the leader of opposition be allowed an additional 5 minutes to complete his presentation. No, members, I am going to ask that no one asks for sufficient time to complete, because those words can mean a 2-hour, 3-hour presentation like the member from St. Andrew South. Yeah, Angela, you know it's you, who spoke for hours.
So, one of the standing orders is that the Speaker cannot refer to the members by their name. She has to refer to them as a member from whatever constitution they're from. So Angela Brownberg should have been referred to as a member from Southwest St. Andrew. So referring to her by her name violates that standing order. Another other thing that I found interesting is that she had to refer to a list to find out which constituency Angela represents. Now, many members of the parliament has been in there a long time, some longer than the Speaker. So she ought to know which constituency they represent. And not a lot of them switch constituency. The number of new ones are not that great. So she should take the time to go learn their names, or not in their names, but which constituency they represent. But here is where she gets called out.
What is your point of order? What's your point of order? You're correct.
That violates the standing order.
Member, you're correct. But it is not in keeping with the approach of Parliament to speak until conclusion, whenever that is. And we have learned our lesson, as the member so nicely stood up and reminded us. So she knows who we are speaking of. So 5 minutes.
So you see, the Speaker is supposed to be the keeper of the rules, not the breaker of the rules. The Speaker is like a referee. And in football, they say the less you see of the referee is the better the referee is performing. But it looks like the Speaker wants to be the star player, the main attraction. She inserts herself in everything. It's like she wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to fight today." That's not how it's supposed to be. When you go to a stadium to watch a game, you don't pay to watch the referee. When I turn on my TV or YouTube to watch Parliament, I don't go turn it on to watch the Speaker. The Speaker shouldn't be the main attraction. And it seems like she wants that relevance to be talked about, inserting herself into every and anything. She should make sure it runs smooth and unbiased and fair.
and biased and fair. Yes, but no. Even to break the same standing orders that she want to take out a belt and beat everybody when she deemed that they have broken them. Speaker. Speaker! Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
But the difference between myself and the leader of the opposition is you don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say. The difference between myself and the leader of the opposition is that I am not expecting the international community to give Jamaica anything.
The Prime Minister is attributing a point of view or a remark to me, which is false. I have never said that the international community can be expected to give us anything. I know the world we're living in. I was pointing out the injustice of it and the fact that it's because of the injustice of it that we're going to have to be taking on this massive amount of additional debt to try and dig ourselves out of this hole. That's the point I was making.
Madam Speaker, I accept the point of clarification, but there was no point of order. But the clarification attempted by the leader of the opposition, Madam Speaker, my recollection of the leader of the opposition statement is that they are only giving us $12 million in grants. With all that we need, all that they're going to give us. Let me say this, Madam Speaker. Yes, there is an injustice in the climate change issues that small island developing states in particular are faced with increasing in terms of frequency, in terms of intensity, and in terms of the overlapping of disasters that have an impact on our balance sheet as a country. And the argument is that rich countries that have benefited from using carbon-based fuels, should compensate.
So we're going to put in a generator for you.
God bless you.
We have our team. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce will loan you the generator because clearly you're far away. Until power comes back, you use it. And then we take it and give it to somebody else when you get your power back. Dr. Riley is the man in charge, so.
Welcome.
So we just try and get this up for you, all right? We're going to help you fix your roof and your door. Okay. I'm here as the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, as the emissary of Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. He sent me to say, your ministry must get back corner shops. Not the big shops. The big shops, them have lawyers and all for money. My job is to look after people.
Little Dooney Corner.
No, big Dooney Corner, important in the community. And we're very happy to be here, that as the sun goes down and Sabbath closes, we give you brand new light with a new generator.
Grateful.
God bless you, darling.
Grateful.
What's up, amazing people? It's Iron Steak over here, and my good people, in today's video It's all about Jamaican politics. I know you all interested about all the topics, genuine reactions, genuine commentary, and here we got you. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about what has been happening in Jamaican political space. And first of all, we saw the Prime Minister coming out and condemning those people that were misinforming Jamaicans, telling them lies about the hurricane and the funds and everything. It was like, if you create any meme about me, just know that I'm gonna create it back. It doesn't matter how many. If you fight me, I'll fight you. And of course, that did not come well with Jamaicans, because they were like, of all the prime ministers that we have had, none ever responded to online criticism, to media criticism, and the current prime minister is the first one. I don't know what you think about that. You can let us know in the comment section. So many leaders have been talking so much. The PNP have been complaining about accountability of the relief funds, and then later on you see them apologizing, and they're like, what the hell is happening? You want to tell me that these people don't know what they are saying? I mean, they don't talk about verified information or what? It's like they hear a rumor, they come and talk about it, and then later on when they get to know the truth, they back out, they back off again and start talking their own things. Anyway, the PNP, the opposition, and the current regime have been in the parliament debating, and from the look of things, it seems Jamaicans are really getting to understand the prime minister, and they are really in support of him and appreciating him as well. And guys, most of you have been complaining about the generators, that it should have been issued like long time ago. But I can tell you now, the generators are with the people of Jamaica. They're actually using it. They lended it to them, and then when they get back the electricity, they give the generator to someone else. I mean, that's how they are going to run the program, so that at least everyone gets to enjoy what Jamaica has to offer, which is beautiful, which is good. And I thank God that there has been very awesome. There have been very awesome support. And also, another encouraging thing about Jamaicans, they are saying that the only thing that's gonna save us as Jamaicans is unity, nothing else. Because I understand some Jamaicans are calling the current government, the current regime, the MAGA puppets. I don't know if that sounds well with you, but that's according to some Jamaicans. They believe that the prime minister is a puppet. When we talk about a puppet, it's somebody who is, okay, a yes man. Like, you cannot say no. When the America says that we want a US base here in Jamaica, yes sir, we want you to test these particular vaccines to your people, yes sir. Like that's the meaning of a puppet. It's not like it's an insult to anybody. So guys, the way I really do love Jamaica, I mean, I just hope that one day, one time, I'll be there. I will travel to Jamaica, meet the beautiful people of Jamaica, and have fun there. The Caribbean, it's a very beautiful place, first of all, to live, to experience food, culture, the people. It's awesome, and also the fact that you appreciate Africans and the blacks all over the world. It's one of the best. So when you talk about Jamaican politics, there is this group of Maroon people that are coming out, and it's like they want to overthrow the government. They're in big disagreement, but in regards to that, we're gonna do a thorough research about it and get to understand what's really happening with them, right? And then I'll be back, and then we'll actually talk about it in this particular video. So that is it with the Jamaican political arena today. I'll see you in the next video. I love you to the moon and back. Keep subscribing, my good people.